Mr. Terupt, December, chapter Alexia. Teach was like, Alexia, I think it's time for you to follow me. I went into the hall with him. He closed the door behind us. Teachers have done this stuff with me before. It was like, no big deal. I didn't even want to give Mr. Teacher a chance. They're being mean to me, I blurted out. They won't let me do anything. Jessica thinks, like, she's the boss. But this is where Teacher was different again. Wrong, he said. Stop it. But he put both hands up. Just stop it, he said. I was quiet and he looked right at me. You're lying and I don't like liars, he said. You're being mean to them and I don't like mean people. I felt real tears coming on. I don't want to cry, not for real. I squeezed my teeth together and I scrunched my eyes. I held my purse hard with both of my hands. You're acting like the meanest girl I have ever seen, he said. I couldn't help it. The tears came. I was really upset and I looked down at the floor. I'm not being unreasonable, Lexi. I was like, yes you are, but I definitely didn't say that out loud. I'm telling you the truth, and sometimes the truth can hurt. I kept my head down. I pulled the tissues from my purse and I wiped my eyes. He was being a big bully. I know you're not mean deep down inside, the teacher went on, so stop acting like you are. Miss Kelsey has told me some amazing things about you in her room. He didn't get it. Nobody was going to be my friend. I know, because that's how it has been before. Kids made fun of me because of my clothes, because of how I talked. Leopardton Lexi, Lexi-like, they called me. And then one day in 3rd grade, I attacked back. I yelled at some girl like Mom and Dad yelled at each other. And after that, no one wanted to be friends with her. It didn't matter what I said was a lie. They ditched her and became my friend instead. Just like this, I became the leader. All of a sudden, I was getting all kinds of attention, unlike at home. Mom was around, but Dad was usually too upset, because he was never around, to worry about me. And then last year, she, hit her limit and threw Dad out of the house. Mom told me then, Alexia, don't let people push you around like your father did to us. You take charge and you fight back. So there's no way I'm going to be nice. Nobody's going to make fun of me again. I don't remember saying anything else to Mr. Terupt. I was too mad to listen. I hate you, Mr. Terupt. Chapter Jeffrey. Did it help? I asked Jessica one day in our Ramadan group. We were just doing some research on the computer. What? She asked. Did telling help? Like Ida B? I think it helped a little, she said. I stared at the computer. I'm listening, she said. You won't tell anyone, I promise? I won't tell, she said. Promise. Because nobody knows any of this. I just moved here last year, halfway through the year, and nobody knows anything about me. I won't tell, she said again. I'm not sure why I believed her, but for the first time, I told somebody my secret. My brother's name was Michael. The football cards were his. He was older than me. He had Down syndrome and leukemia, and was real sick, so my parents had me in order to save him. I could feel Jessica looking at me after telling her that last part, but I kept staring at the computer. They had me, and they gave Michael my stem cells, special cells that can turn into anything else in your body, hoping that they would become what Michael needed. It did work for a while, but then he got sick again, and he was in and out of the hospital a lot, so that's how I learned about other kids with special needs. I stopped. The computer was quiet. Jessica hadn't pushed anything on the keyboard. She was listening. Then, the summer before 4th grade, I gave bone marrow to Michael. It was his last chance to survive. Everything had failed. I stopped again and my throat tightened around the lump in it. It was gonna be hard to tell the rest. What happened? Jessica said. It worked, but not fast enough. Michael got sick before his body could fight off the cancer. I did not save him. The screensaver bounced around. I stared at it, and then Jessica said something no one had ever said to me before. It's not your fault, Jeffrey. I got up and walked to the bathroom. I had to. Chapter Anna. I never had a teacher stick up for me before. I'd get picked on and made fun of, and my teachers never did anything. Maybe because I never did anything either. I didn't cry or get upset. I just stayed quiet. Maybe it seemed like it didn't bother me, but nobody's got skin that thick. Mr. Turup did something right. I loved him for that. He wasn't real happy about it either, though. He wanted us to do the sticking up for each other. I don't know if I could do that, but with Jessica and Danielle by my side, I knew I could. Mr. Turup was right about that. Things were much easier in our group after the whole Alexia incident. She came back quiet and remained quiet for the rest of the day and every day after that. I knew she was feeling bad. A lot of girls had felt bad or felt the same way because of her, so I figured it was only fair. But it bothered me too. Mom had always told me, we don't have enough days to waste being upset or sad. You've got to be happy and have fun, Anna. I think Mom's positive attitude is pretty amazing, especially after all she's been through. But I think she's right. We weren't mean to Alexia, but we left her alone. I hoped she'd be different now that Mr. Turup had a conference with her. During the time we worked on our center, I found the courage to do something I hadn't ever done before. One day during recess, while doing some stick sketching in the dirt, I took a deep breath and plunged ahead. Would you guys like to come over to my house for a play date? I asked Jessica and Danielle. Jessica looked up. I'd love to, she said. She glanced at Danielle, who kept her head down and continued sketching. Danielle's really good at drawing, so I thought maybe she just wanted to finish her sketch. Snap! Her stick broke in half. I'll need to check with my mom first, Jessica added. Me too, Danielle said, but she didn't look up. Let me ask my mom. You don't have to come over if you don't want to, I said to Danielle. No, I want to, she said, looking at me this time, and I believed her. Then she looked away. But I need to get permission. The recess whistle blew, and Danielle had drawn 3 girls holding hands in the dirt. I smiled. They both wanted to come over. I was hoping their mothers would say yes. Chapter Danielle. The holiday centers turned out great. It was a lot of hard work, especially with Alexia in our group, but Mr. Turup took care of her. She wasn't the same after that. She became real quiet, which helped us get our center put together smoothly. Jessica and Jeffrey completed the trivia game. They came up with some really good questions. Luke loved playing when he visited our holiday. He said he learned a lot from it, and Mr. Turup was happy to hear that. Mr. Turup hung around our center because of the cookies. I made them. Even after what Alexia had said about me, my mom and grandma helped me find the recipe that used cumin, which is a spice. The 3 of us spent a lot of time together in the kitchen. It was a perfect opportunity to ask to go to Anna's, but I couldn't find myself to ask. The best part of our holiday center day took part when the collaborative friends came to visit. That was Peter's idea. Some of the games were kind of hard for them, but we helped them. They were able to do the crafts and eat the special food like my cookies. James liked our craft project where you had to cut thin strips of paper and staple rings to make a long chain. The chain is a calendar to help you count down the date of Ramadan, which can be 29 or 30 days long. Our chain included way more links than that because our guests kept adding them. 137, James said after eyeing the chain for a few seconds. Then he started adding more links. James really liked the surprise I had for him. I put together a collection of photographs of Middle Eastern farms and farming. He sat down and started talking about them and studying them. Seeing James like this made me very happy. Jeffrey surprised us. Once Joey showed up, Jeffrey put out his little memory game that he had with pairs of matching cards with different Ramadan pictures on them. He and Joey played. It was a super wonderful day. Mr. Turup was smiling. So was I. Chapter Jessica. Hi, honey, how was school? Mom asked as I climbed in the car. Mom was great about giving car rides whenever she could. Some kids like Jeffrey had to ride the bus every day. Mom's trying to get serious about her writing. She's already very skilled at it, having helped on some of Dad's plays back in California, but now she's writing for herself. That's why she's free in the afternoons to pick me up. We're lucky to have enough money so that Mom doesn't have to get a steady job right now. She can actually pursue her passion. I hope I can do that someday too. Mom did want a part-time job at the local bookstore so she can interact with people and keep her mind from wandering back to California. My mind wanders back there all the time, but not like it did a few months ago. My dad still hasn't called me. School was fine, I said. I buckled my seatbelt, and away we drove. Mom, you've heard me talk about Anna and Danielle, right? Yeah, is there something wrong? Mom stepped on the brakes harder than usual, and we jerked to a halt at the stop sign. I shook her head. Oh, nothing's wrong, I said. I looked I looked my way. The coast is clear. Mom eased off the brakes. Anna asked Danielle to Anna asked Danielle and me to come over to her house to play. Oh, that's great news, Jessica, Mom said. Yeah, but I don't know if Danielle won't I don't or yes, but I know Danielle won't be going. How do you know that? Mom said. I filled Mom in on what Danielle knew about Anna's mother, and I explained why Danielle's mom won't allow Danielle to associate with the likes of Anna. Mom turned right onto our road. Well, I'm not going to say no just because Anna's mother made a mistake once. We pulled into our driveway and put the car in park. If Danielle's a nice girl, I bet her mother is too, Mom said. But we'll make up our own minds about what kind of person Anna's mom really is. Dad made a mistake. You don't want to give him another chance, I said. Your father didn't want another chance, Mom said. He made that clear before we left. She paused. The divorce papers came today. I sat all quiet. Mom's bluntness really zapped me. I'm sorry, honey, Mom said. I'm sure your father will call soon. I shrugged. You don't need to lie to make me feel better. Okay, you're right, she sighed. I've always been honest with you and upfront. Another sigh. Honestly, I don't know when he'll call.